Yo guys, welcome back. This is Maverick and ready for some more Nisemonogatari action. Or lack of it, I guess you could say, considering the ending of the last arc in regards to Karen. Not that I'm complaining or whatnot. I mean, Monogatari is more of a series focused on the dialogue. Most of you guys have told me this already, and we can, series in, I do think that I have a pretty good grasp on what to expect from the franchise. But still, I did find it quite ironic that for such an active character such as Karen, the conclusion to her arc was really more of a calm and peaceful kind, right? So I do wonder, it is quite ironic in this sense. So I do wonder if, since now we are going into Tsukihi's arc, who is more of the reserved type of person, at least on the superficial level anyways, maybe you are going to get a more explosive resolution to her story. Now, personally, I have been looking forward to this. No offense to Karen, I think she's a great character, but she is a little bit more obvious in the way that she acts and whatnot, right? And Tsukihi is someone who is still a mystery to me, right? Not really sure what her sort of character actually is, what kind of demons that she's holding. So let's just get right to it, shall we? Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. The true identity of Araki. Alright, speak of the devil. Now where was this manga from? Alright. Hysteric. Hysteric? Immortal? What? Oh. New opening. I guess I should have expected that. A more traditional style of music. Why does this remind me of Lena Circulation so much? I'll bet plenty of people have danced to this in the past. And what is her obsession with platinum, anyways? Okay. Tsukihi Phoenix. Oh, that's why she's immortal? Because she's a phoenix? Or I guess the other way around. August 14th? Monday morning? Why aren't you... Oh, it's summer break. Alright. Was this Tsukiki? Lower life. What? What? Yeah. Dang. Yeah. That's a little bit harsh. She's going through puberty. Appeal points going up. Hey, I'll answer for you. It's cute. Oh. Well, at least he's immortal, right? Oh. Oh. What? I guess she takes after her. Yeah. Oni-sama. Oh my god. I wonder, since Monogatari is actually a light novel series, like, how did they actually have these scenes in a novel? Wow. This is what we call an iron skirt. Ah, never mind. Yeah, like I said, I do wonder, like, all this sort of over the top stuff. I guess it's not in the novels? I mean, well, I guess there goes studying for today. Oh. Alright, what kind of thing is this sadistic Aragi going to think of? Obligatory panty shot. Oh, this is the. I've actually. No, sorry to disappoint most of you guys, but I've actually seen this scene a long time ago before already. Even before. It was actually sort of my introduction to the Monogatari series. I never realized it was actually Karen, though. Yeah, even with this context, I still have no idea how this has to do with anything. Yeah, true. How does that logic actually work? I wonder how much truth there is to this. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. No, more to the point, why does Aragi know of this? By the way, when I watched this before, it was without sound. So I. What? This makes even less sense with all that. I seriously want to. There are some commentary tracks and whatnot, right? Out of the seiyus. Alright, are you gonna give up? Hey. Like, who thought of this? And once again, like, was this in the original novel as well? That's your sister you're talking about. Oh my god. Is this like just the scriptwriter or director's excuse of putting porn on screen? All right, who's gonna walk in right at this moment? Tsukihi or something? Yep. Good question. Are you guys acting dumb now? Alright, they know who's the boss in the house. That's not exactly a problem, is it? Does this mean it's Karen's victory? Oh my god. What the hell am I even watching? Oh my god. Wait, she's actually taller than. What in the. Alright. I think that's pretty much it. And then we also have the preview. It seems that the ending sounds the same. So let me recollect my thoughts. I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, well, well. This is the episode of the infamous toothbrush scene. So, and I guess probably the one that most of you guys were waiting for, considering, the context, the contents, and everything. Now, once again, I do apologize that this is not exactly a completely blind viewing of this. I've seen this scene before. I think it was in GIF form, though. Definitely no sound and no context whatsoever. And that was like, what? It was probably when Nisemonogatari first came out, because it was a very famous scene, made the rounds on the internets and whatnot. That was like 8 years ago, right? So I did see that. I thought it was okay. It was kind of WTF, right? It's borderline porn or something. But at the time, I thought, okay, maybe this is just one of those ecchi works, right? So didn't really think too much about it, although I did think that I did give it creativity points for using a toothbrush instead. Now, 8 years later, and we've come full circle, right? And I am watching the Monogatari series, and well, here is the situation. And I gotta say though, even with knowing the context, that doesn't make it any less confusing. Let's just say. So, Karen in this episode, right? Well, I mean, I guess it is kind of biased and whatnot, but I do really enjoy. I did really enjoy her character design in this episode, right? Wearing a miniskirt and all that, and wearing those tight and sleeveless clothes, so on and so forth. I mean, I'm a guy, right? I like it when girls dress up like that. You sue me. Um, and yeah, the entire context of the situation. Uh, what what should I analyze from this episode, right? I guess, well, first of all, I'm not really sure about the entire toothbrush thingy, the toothbrush philosophy. Well, okay, two questions I have about that. One is I really don't buy the entire getting your tooth brushed by someone else is going to make you feel like that. I mean, I presume it's sort of like going to the dentist, and I've been to the dentist plenty of times. It's never felt like that, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is Aragi. Why do you know this? Do you know this from firsthand experience or something? Like, what the hell, man? But yeah. Anyways, as a guy, I will fully admit that I really enjoyed that scene. All right. Now, it is definitely one where I think you should lock your room, put on your headphones, and so on and so forth. Because let's face it, that is pretty much borderline porn, right? Or as it's normally called, hentai. Um, but yeah, and I gotta say, I do I am quite curious whether there are fan-made continuations out there on the interwebs and whatnot. I'm pretty sure there are. Although this scene by itself is already of pretty good quality, right? So again, no shame here. I will fully admit that I enjoyed that. Now, with that being said, however, I think okay, let's put it in two different perspectives. So I enjoyed that scene for what it was. It's definitely something that okay, let's face it gets people turned on, right? So that's let's put that aside for now. I gotta say though, I think maybe from a general enjoyment perspective, I liked even more the parts prior and after to that, right? The parts prior where Karen and Araki, well, yeah, I'm just gonna call Gomi Araki, right? Where Araki and Karen were having their little sort of conversation and whatnot, the sort of bickering and back and forth, and as usual, the reactions that they do, like literally, literally like bowing down and then stomping and then kicking her out and then getting instantly, there's a give and take here, right? Now, some people might find it kind of tasteless to have that kind of scene or whatnot. Personally, I like it. It's not like it's completely one-sided, right? And I think if you did find that tasteless, you probably would have turned off from this series a long time ago, considering what happened with Mayoi in the first season, right? So, I like that part. I liked even more the part where they got caught, where Tsukihi came. I live for that kind of comedy, right? Some people might say it's trashy humor, but I mean, I watch plenty of ecchi works. I will fully admit to that as well. Mostly in manga form, though occasionally in anime form as well, or light novel form. So stuff like I guess the classics like High School DD, To Love Ru, Trinity 7, Kisses, all those kinds of stuff. I gotta say though, I think the series that I just mentioned, I enjoyed to various degrees. Some of them are, I think, more trashy than the others. In this case, however, in Nisemonogatari's case, I don't think I would really use trashy to describe it. I feel like it strikes a nice balance between these sort of ecchi scenes, but at the same time, putting it in such an absurd context, both front and back, to the point where it just, even though it is ecchi in a way, you still feel kind of, I don't know how to say it. It just seems like a higher level than normal ecchi and pervert kind of stuff. So, I guess kudos to them for being able to pull off something like this, right? Definitely big props to the studio for this. Although this also leads me to my biggest question coming out of this episode, and actually something that I already mentioned in the episode as well, and so that is, what exactly happened in the novels, right? Did they literally have these same scenes in the novels as well, and describe them with the same amount of clarity? The toothbrush scene, I can maybe see it being in the novel, but let's say, for instance, the scene from last episode where Karen and Araki were fighting, right? And then we could see the city being destroyed around them. Of course, more of an exaggeration than anything. But how was that actually handled within the novel? Or say, for instance, the scene in the beginning of this episode where Araki literally kicked Karen onto the bed, right? Like I highly doubt that was actually in novel form. So yeah, how did the novel actually handle this situation? That it makes me very curious, because I feel like a big part of the appeal of this Monogatari series in anime form is because of these sort of absurd scenes, right? Now, however, I know that the novels are highly regarded in of themselves. I'm not really sure if they're able to make these kind of scenes within the novels. So there is a give and take here, right? So what does novels have that the anime doesn't have? Because obviously the anime, in having these scenes and having the voice acting and whatnot, it adds stuff more to the novels, right? There's very few examples of a series that I feel are even better in, or maybe not even better, but at least offers it's not lacking. It can completely stand on its own, even when compared to the original work. I'm very picky when it comes to these kind of things. I actually don't watch anime all that much, precisely because most of the time I enjoy the original works more. So that means the novels or the manga, because I feel like there's very few times when an anime adaptation actually isn't lacking in some sort of way. Even with all the pros that it can have, having cool action scenes and voice acting and all of that. One of the series that I always consider one of the pinnacles of being able to add something to the even beyond the original manga format would be something like Gintama, right? Because I feel like the voice acting really elevates that work to another level. In this case, I do wonder if it's a similar kind of situation where, of course, probably in the novels you're going to get a lot more of the dialogues in good text form, right? And probably the play on words and all that stuff, it would be more easily represented in text form. With that being said, however, is this a case where, okay, being in an anime form, it's even more hilarious because of the voice acting and all the cool visuals and so on and so forth. So that is it kind of the discussion kind of took a weird turn here, but I am actually really curious about all that. But yeah, anyways, like I said, there's not really that much else for me to dissect and describe from this episode. I mean, yeah, that happened, right? And here I was coming into this expecting some development to Tsuki's character. I guess, to be fair, we did see her at the very end of this episode, but man, like, and that, honestly, this came out of nowhere, right? I guess is that really fair? I guess at the end of last episode, Karen was in sort of a smitten mood, right? Smitten by her brother and whatnot. But man. Anyways. Yeah, this was quite the episode. I enjoyed it, and well, probably I will be looking up to see if there are some more continuations to this as well. I gotta say, I think it was back in episode, 2 or 3, where I said, okay, so far in this series, Sengoku is the highest on my most sexy list, right? In terms of the scale in regards to all the girls. As of right now, though, Karen wins it, hands down. Hands down. So, there we go. That's it for this episode. I will see you guys next week as well. Stay tuned, and bye-bye.